So what's the daily ritual? Like, what do you do on a normal show day?
I mean, I try and sleep as late as I can, then get up, maybe have a quick walk around the West Village and just sort of chill out, try and read. I think it's important to kind of have another project going on during the day so that the show is not your be-all and end-all at night. You know, it's just important to, I think, keep your mind on other stuff so that when you come to the show in that evening, you come to it as fresh as possible.
So for instance, what's occupying your time then?
I'm reading a book called The Moor's Last Sigh by Salman Rushdie, which is brilliant. I've only just sort of started it, but it's fantastic. And then, other than that, what am I doing? Just sort of trying to keep in contact with people back home, trying, you know, as always, to write something. See, I'm convinced I should be a writer, but the problem is I don't have any ideas. That's the quandary I find myself in.
Oh yeah, because you've had such a limited life where you haven't been exposed to.
Well, exactly. That's the thing. That's the thing. I have such a narrow frame of reference.
When you speak of writing, we know that you've done some poetry. Poetry?
Yeah,
or
a bit of poetry,
or...
but like I would love to get into writing scripts as well. Just basically the first thing I complete will be the thing I'm drawn to most.
Whatever I can get through, honestly, at this point.
Exactly.
If it's a children's book.
Yeah, it's a pop-up book. Whatever. It's fine. I don't care. Just a colouring book. I'll do the story for anything.
I know when I spoke to you a couple of weeks ago, you said that Rickman had stopped by. Since then, a bunch of the Potter gang was in town for that opening here, and I know they got a chance to see the show.
Yeah, no, it was great. David Thewlis's reaction was the sweetest, I have to say. It was just, you know, because I know David and he's a lovely guy, and I don't think in all the time that we spent together we've ever talked about musicals. He was the last you know, when a guy, it's terrible. The fact, I know the guy, I know he's a lovely, funny. You know, he's not a deep, heavy guy. But when someone's in that film naked, you just go, musicals probably aren't your thing.
Right.
But he just loved it. And he was just over the moon. He was really proud, and like it was really, really cool. And yeah, and him and Helen McCrory and Bonnie Wright obviously was there, and the Phelps twins and Ivana and Freddie Stromer, and you know.
Is there anyone at this point that would make you nervous to show the show? Like, whose validation or whose seal of approval would be meaningful for you to see the show at this point?
Well, the one that happened on Equus, which somebody told me 5 minutes before the show that Stephen Sondheim was in the audience, and that totally just, I had the worst show I think I've ever had. So, you know, if you get his seal of approval, you're kind of made in this part of the town, particularly, you know.
Abe Burrows is just a relative of mine, so I gave you the seal of approval, so you're good
okay,
now.
Cool. So I'm good with the Burrows family estate. That is good.
There you go.
But no, I suppose, you know, he would. If I knew he was in the audience, I'd be very nervous. We've had Liza in the audience twice now. She was in again last night, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I've met and chatted with her, and yeah.
Have any of the previous Finches did Robert come yet? Or
not yet. I heard a rumour that Robert Morse was going to be opening night, but he wasn't. I think I really hope both him and Matthew come, because I'd just love to hear their thoughts and hear what the experience was like for them.
Sure.
And particularly Robert Morse, because he was so iconic in this role.
It feels to me like, you know, at MTV we've talked to another celebrity. The other celebrity that really has been behind gay, lesbian, transgender issues has been Lady Gaga.
Right,
Have you ever like crossed paths with her at all?
No, never. Although my mum and dad, bizarrely, went to her concert. Like, my parents at a Lady Gaga concert, which is, I just think, the coolest, oddest thing.
Have you been to a Gaga concert?
I have not.
So they're ahead of you on Gaga.
They're ahead of me on most things pop culture. Like, yeah, but no, she's very outspoken as well, and it's just about, you know, being, you know, who you are born as, and it's wonderful that other people are coming out and from all different spectrums. I mean, she has a slightly more flamboyant way of putting her point across than I would, and it suits her a lot better than it would me.
Right.
So, you know, but we're both aiming for the same thing. But no, I've never met her.
Both get the point across. Woman in Black, I want to talk a little bit about. So we saw the teaser, we saw the first taste of this one, as we were talking before the cameras rolled. Yes. It's very evocative, like you can tell, like it shows almost nothing, but you get the sense that strange things are afoot. So why are you excited for this one? What was special for you about taking this project?
I really do think, I think it's going to be one of those films that, you know, it didn't cost a lot to make. It didn't take a lot of time to make. And it was a very simple, you know, there are only a few actors in it. I mean, I think the total cast, you know, doesn't come to very many people. But the story is so compelling. And I have such faith in our director, James Watkins, who, you know, is very, as well as being an extremely talented man, is also very brave. You know, I've had a friend who has seen a test screening recently, and there is apparently a portion for like 15 minutes in the middle of the film with no dialogue.
Wow.
And it's just me walking around the house. But it is apparently some of the most compelling footage. It's going to be terrifying, and at the test screening they had apparently people were leaping out of their seats, terrified, and you know, so I think it's just going to be a really, really good movie and something I'm very, very excited. I mean, I'm very rarely excited to see stuff that I'm in. I'm actually very excited about seeing this. I think it's going to be a very, I think it will be a big step for me as well, because, you know, I'm playing older for the first time.
He's a dad, right?
I'm playing
too, right?
a dad. I'm playing, I think we put him at about the age of 25. So yeah, it's a big step forward for me in a lot of ways. So hopefully it'll be successful.
Do you scare easily? Or are you gonna?
Very easily, yes. It's the kind of film I probably wouldn't see if I wasn't in it. And I know a lot of people that have said that they are not going to be able to see it, and I'm going to have to force them to. Because yeah, it does look really, really terrifying. I'm looking forward to the full trailer coming out, presumably months down the line. Because I think when people start to see more and more, I think the buzz about it will build.